KGB agent turned president turned warlord. At 70 years of age, Vladimir Putin is not shy to cause controversy and unrest in the world. Known for his desire to create a manly image, Putin has engaged in activities such as riding on horseback shirtless, flying military jets, swimming in a freezing Siberian river, scuba diving, bending a frying pan in half with his bare hands, and riding motorcycles. He is even friends with the infamous Russian biker gang called Night Wolves. In this video, we have included 12+1 facts about Vladimir Putin, President of Russia. Hey everybody, welcome to the Think Club. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our videos. Let's get started. Number 1. Born October 7, 1952. In Leningrad, Soviet Union, now St. Petersburg, Russia, Vladimir Putin was the third son in his family but the only one to survive. His parents married at 17 when the country was going through rough times. His father was disabled by a grenade during World War II, and his mother was trapped and nearly starved to death during the siege of Leningrad. His two elder brothers, Victor and Albert, did not survive the siege and died in infancy. After the war, Putin's father began working in a factory, and his mother swept streets and washed test tubes. They lived in a communal apartment shared by 3 families. There was no hot water, and the building was infested with rats. Putin had to run up the flight of rat-infested stairs to get to his apartment on the 5th floor. He was always armed with a stick to fend off the rats. Little by little, he started to observe their behavior. Later on, he said that he never forgot how the rats fought back fiercely when cornered. He swore to do the same in any conflict life would throw at him. End quote. There is no retreat. Number 2. Putin studied law at the Leningrad State University, now St. Petersburg State University, in 1970. He graduated in 1975 and immediately joined the KGB, Soviet Union's equivalent to the CIA. Putin became a KGB foreign intelligence officer and rose quickly within the organization. After 16 years and right before his resignation in 1991, he became a lieutenant colonel. Number 3. During his time as a KGB agent, Putin was trained in Moscow at the KGB Foreign Intelligence Institute. His pseudonym was Platov. From 1985 to 1990, he was stationed in Dresden, East Germany, working undercover as a translator. Needless to say, thanks to his training, he is fluent in German and English. In 1989, during the fall of the Berlin Wall, Putin was tasked with destroying a large amount of intelligence information, as it was evident that USSR was about to crumble. After leaving the KGB, Putin decided to enter the world of politics. Number 4. Putin is a martial arts master and has a black belt in judo. His love for martial arts dates back to when he was 12. He noticed that he wasn't growing as quickly as other boys, so he started learning judo to keep from being bullied. He earned his black belt at the age of 18. He also knows karate and sambo, a combat sport developed by the Soviet Union. He co-authored a book on martial arts in 2004 titled Judo with Vladimir Putin. He also has another book in English titled Judo: History, Theory, Practice. Putin released a film in 2008 named Let's Learn Judo with Vladimir Putin. In 2012, he was awarded 8th Dan, a martial arts ranking system of the black belt, which made him the first Russian to achieve such status. Number 5. After Joseph Stalin, Vladimir Putin is the longest-serving Russian leader. He has led Russia for more than 2 decades as either the prime minister or the president. He seems to be obsessed with his action man image, and his time in power has been characterized by a crackdown on political freedoms, territorial tensions in Eastern Europe, and liberal economic reform. Number 6. Speaking of Putin's macho, action man image, he helped put out the ravaging fires outside of Moscow in 2010, probably in order to prove his mettle, but who are we to judge? Putin was photographed with an airborne firefighting squad that was tasked with putting out the wildfires in a designated area. As the co-pilot, Putin's role was to press a button that would release water into the wildfires. To his credit, the huge fire was contained and extinguished eventually. Number 7. Putin once shot a whale with a crossbow. for scientific purposes. You see, in 2010, he joined a group of marine biologists that wanted to gather skin samples from gray whales off the coast of the Kamchatka Peninsula, Russia's far eastern coast. During his voyage, Putin used a crossbow to fire darts at the whales and managed to hit one of them during his fourth try. Needless to say, the whale survived, and the dart was only used to collect skin samples that allowed the biologists to determine from where the whale originated. Many believe Putin signing up for the adventure was little more than a publicity stunt. Number 8. Putin leaped at the opportunity to visit the Arctic in 2010. He was photographed helping to handle and weigh a sedated polar bear. He was even seen hugging and patting the unconscious beast. After hugging the slumbering, heavily sedated bear, Putin put an electronic collar around his neck. Of course, many believe that Putin's travel to the Arctic was more than just an expedition and hugging a polar bear. It was more so an attempt to claim a part of that region. Aside from being home to a dwindling population of polar bears, the Arctic also holds 13% of the world's undiscovered oil and 30% of its undiscovered gas reserves. So you do the math. Number 9. Putin is often late when he is meeting with very important people. When Pope Francis visited Russia for the first time, Putin kept him waiting for an hour before he showed up. Putin also made John Kerry, former United States Secretary of State, wait for 3 hours in 2012. But the Russian leader didn't stop there. He even left late Queen Elizabeth waiting for him. Just imagine making the Queen wait for you. Reportedly, this is more than just a bad habit on Putin's part. It is, in fact, a psychological manipulation technique he employs to show who calls the shots. Number 10. Putin has been accused of corruption, though he has vehemently denied it. But one cannot blame the public or the media. Putin's collection of luxurious watches alone costs about $700,000, more than 6 times his reported annual salary. Some see this as a sign of government corruption, and rightly so. Though Kremlin has tried to deny this, it is also believed that Putin is the owner of the $1.3 billion mansion on the Black Sea coast, often referred to as Putin's Palace. Satellite images show a massive modern-day marble complex with gardens, a private theater, 3 helicopter landing pads, a casino, a church, a swimming pool, a wine cellar, and staff apartments. The question is how the estate was founded. A former business associate of Putin once said that the mansion was built for Putin's personal use. Number 11. Putin has been accused of stealing an expensive ring. Yes, you heard that right. Robert Kraft, the New England Patriots owner, says Putin stole his Super Bowl ring in 2005. During a visit to St. Petersburg, Kraft showed Putin the ring. According to Kraft, Putin took the ring and said, "I could kill someone with this ring." Then, he put the $25,000 ring in his pocket and left the room with 3 bodyguards. Of course, the Kremlin has always maintained that the ring was a gift. After Kraft's claim, George Bush, who was the president back then, contacted him, asking Kraft to let Putin keep the ring as a gift to keep Russia on good terms with the US. Needless to say, an unhappy Kraft begrudgingly decided that he would honor his request. Number 12. Putin sparked nationwide outrage across Ukraine for drinking a 240-year-old bottle of wine during his visit to the famous Masandra winery in the Ukrainian region of Crimea. Putin and former Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi tasted a bottle of Spanish 1775 Jerry's La Fronterola brought to Crimea by Count Mikhail Vorontsov during the reign of Catherine the Great. It was worth more than $90,000 and considered a national heritage by Ukrainians. Number 13. Before his horrible decision to attack Ukraine, Putin was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize twice. He was first nominated in 2014 for his peaceful solution to Syria's use of chemical weapons. Putin asked his friend Bashar al-Assad, the president of Syria, surrender the weapons peacefully so as to prevent any aggressive intervention. A master of PR stunts, Putin is not your average president, though probably among the most hated politicians. One cannot deny that he is also one of the most powerful and influential people in the world. One could only hope that the mess he got himself into after attacking Ukraine would teach him a good lesson. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And let us know down in the comments if there's any subject you want us to cover in the future. See you in the next video.